Hello everyone. Seems like things are not joining us and not being too friendly today, and technology is up against me. But how is this for a great welcome to the Africam show today, powered by Explore? So, if you ask me, it's probably the best way to start any sort of afternoon. It's pretty cool to have lions joining us. If you are a returning viewer or if this is the first time that you are joining us, please remember this is a live and interactive show, so we love hearing from everyone. We can all just, for example, comment how happy we are that we are now looking at a lioness that seems to have quite a big belly. So in theory, or potentially, there is a kill somewhere close to this pan where we're looking at, where she's drinking all the water. So there we go. Pretty great way. My name is Ali, for all of those of you that can or cannot recognize the voice, and I'm going to be hosting you guys for the next sort of hour or so, or just under an hour, as we travel across all of the different cameras that Africam has in the African continent. Very appropriate names, isn't it? And then we'll see what it is. I mean, I'm pretty excited because I've never done one of these shows where we actually have a lioness straight from the start. I don't think so. She is looking quite funny, like in the middle down her back. It seems like there's a bit of red, so I don't know if that's maybe a little bit of blood from the kill. If you look at her paws, her face, there's still a bit of blood in there. She could have been rolling in some maybe a little bit disgusting leftover, or it could just be the soil and the color of the soil where she was lying. Do you see that some of you guys have already joined us and are sending their hellos across? So please, if you have anything to say to us, or to me in particular, feel free to join us. So we've got Casper's 3D Ghost. You're saying good day, all from a sunny Milwaukee. Coffee ready for the show. That is pretty cool, and I'm very glad that you have your coffee ready for the show. Today, finally, it's not a day where we all want to die of how hot it is. The summer in South Africa or in Southern Africa has been a really hot one. So, generally when you guys say that you want coffee in the afternoon, it makes me breathe a little bit harder. But today I could have a coffee actually. Bridget McKinney, you're saying hello. Kauru, you're saying hello as well. Hello to you guys. Thank you for joining us as always. April Owl, you're saying good morning from sunny Connecticut with your glass of cherry iced tea. Oh, I don't think I've ever had cherry iced tea. That sounds interesting, potentially quite refreshing. And you were watching the Lions and Rosy's pan cam. Well, very happy that you were, and that now we are all watching the lioness. She looked a bit funny there, didn't she, when she lifted her hair, oh my goodness, her head. Sometimes, it's hard to English. She almost looks like she's just woken up from a nap, like she's not fully there. She's got a very funny face. Shame. Jan Powers, you're saying hi everyone and thank you to me. I mean, thank you guys for joining all of us. Jean Gale, good snowy morning from near Seattle. Oh wow, that's almost like the temperature. No, a joke. It's kind of not what we have today, but glad to hear that you are having a good snowy morning. And Andy, you're saying good afternoon, everyone. Lions and Ali, it's a great day. I agree. Whenever we've got lions, it's got to be a great day. And then Janice, you're saying hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I mean, we couldn't really ask for a better start, could we? And she is drinking a lot of water. I wonder what I don't know if you guys, if you were watching, or April, I was seeing you were watching the camera earlier. I don't know if you guys know what the lions had been eating or what they brought down, because I mean, I'm guessing it's fairly recent because she hasn't really had enough time to clean herself up. You can see her paws are quite muddy. Her face is still quite muddy. So they wouldn't go into the water. Oh, she might even be lactating. She wouldn't even go into the water to have a bath, but she would use her tongue, and then she would like clean herself up and then just make sure that she is nice and squeaky clean, as one would say. No, don't go, lion, come back. Stay where we can see you. Ah, okay. Kristen is saying that the camera or you guys saw a lioness and two cubs drinking earlier, and then they were quite bloody. So, okay, good. So I'm not making things up, so I'm glad to know that there were cubs around. It's just that her mammary glands looked like somebody had been suckling on it, or they were fairly exposed, which generally happens when cats have cubs, or well, dogs as well, because obviously they make sure that all the fur around it is pretty much taking on. Just of course behind the one little bush. It's perfect for lions to hide just behind the one bush or the one tree. often not in days so much like today where it's nice and overcast, but in general, like if it's really hot the way that it's been, first of all, if they don't stash their kill or put it under a tree or a branch or just somewhere in general, it will rot that much quicker. And then also you have the issue of certain very big birds, such as the vultures and eagles, that tend to spot the carcasses up from the air, and then they all start coming down and pulling down. And then, of course, as they all start coming down, that can also alert other predators, other lions, leopards, hyenas, even, that there is potentially something tasty somewhere around, and then, that just gives the location away. But, okay, I think we've lost our lions for a bit. Good on them, though. They have obviously chosen a very good spot. Maybe we should go to Olifants River, Kirst, as you suggested. That would be great, because I think our lions are probably going to nap now. She came, she had a drink, and then of course we'll keep a lookout on Rosy's pen just in case the cubs make an appearance. But how appropriate to have an Olifant at the Olifants River. So Olifant is actually the Afrikaans name for the Afrikaans word for elephant. And then at the Elephant River, we have a very, non-shy elephant showing up. And then just, I think, potentially it seems like it's eating, not drinking. That's quite something. Timber Grace, you are joining us now today, and you're saying good morning from sunny and cool Minnesota. Oh, that's a nice combo. I like it when it's sunny but cool. Coffee in hand and happy about lions. Great. We like it. We like lions here. Amberco, you say thank you, and all that bring us these show. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read there. Well, it's a pleasure. I hope I speak for many when I say that we actually have fun doing the shows, because there's always something happening. Oh, look at the elephant. That's a lot of dust, boy. Oh, Mr. HUAE87, you say today you have coffee and carrot cake. Oh, carrot. I could do carrot cake right now. That actually sounds nice. I'm pretty sure this elephant could put some sprinkles on that carrot cake with all the dust that he's just put on top of itself. And of course, Zygote, you're saying hello. Well, hello back to you. Elephants are very funny creatures. He is looking like he's already had a drink. And I say this because it seems like his skin is a little bit darker than the normal elephant skin. And often after they've drank water, then they'll go to exactly what he was doing earlier on. They just will go find some loose soil, and if it's not loose, they'll tend to use their feet just to try and loosen it a bit, use their trunks, and then they put all of this dust, and sometimes even mud, on top of their bags, behind their ears, and so on, sort of to either get rid of parasites such as ticks, because then they go and scratch themselves against a tree trunk or something like that, or they use it to protect their skin from the sun. Because the African sun is relentless. You can burn around here if you're not careful. And then, of course, all these animals, even though they've got thicker skins and they've got skins that are adapted to live in this environment and in these conditions, also needs to be looked after. So if they can just put an extra thin layer on top of their heads and their ears and so on, why not? They can keep cool and, prevent them from burning. Bub from Kalamazoo, you're saying good day. Well, welcome. Happy that you have joined us, hopefully with Pepsi in hand, so that, Trishala lives proud to the tradition. Where are you going, elephant? Stay. I think you should eat some of the figs now. So if you see the big tree on the right where he is, that looks like a half a dead and a living sycamore fig. And the cool thing about the figs in this part of the world, or the sycamore figs in particular, is that they don't actually have a seasonality. So they produce their figs at all times of the year. And that is great for a lot of animals, because they all come and eat the figs whenever they are available. So things like elephants will eat them, baboons, tigers. I've seen giraffes. What else have I seen? Monkeys, nyala. So a vast variety of creatures will feed on them. It's also they're nice and sweet, so I'm sure they would prefer to eat that. Although I think in this case, it's eating the branches or the bushes or whatever it is that is hiding there. Very nonchalant, like it is, Got those legs crisscross, chilling, eating. It's almost like, it always reminds me of when people go to one of these cafes and then you order a coffee at the bar, like very European style. And then it's just like, oh, I'm just going to wait here for my coffee. And then you just cross your legs and you just take it easy and then you have your cup of coffee and then sort of you go on. I feel like this is that scenario for that elephant. He's had a bath. He's had his dust shower, and now he's just eating happily, very happily away. Very peaceful in this river. There's something about rivers that, you know, just listening to that trickle of water and then seeing the animals there. Seems like it's also becoming a bit windy up there. I mean, if we just look at the leaves in the background. It's been funny weather the last couple of days. We had a massive storm on Sunday in some of the areas because I live not too far from the elephant, or where the elephant currently is. So it should be sort of roughly the same weather, but we have all been very thankful for the fact that we've had the wind bringing up big clouds, brought a storm, brought the rain, even if it was just a little bit, and now it's just covering the sun because it's been something. I think Aurelia is pretty settled here, and I think if we go to Kenya, we'll be able to see another big creature, a very, very big creature. Bigger than, well, not bigger, but maybe than an elephant. That would be quite nice too. Ah, there's two of them. Double whammy. So here we have some Maasai giraffes all the way up in Kenya, which is very nice to see. Seems like maybe an older bull and a younger bull. And of course a bunch of little oxpeckers on them. This is the Cameron Oldonio, which is, you know, cursed, maybe. I think, you know, I'm very happy that we had the lion, but how about next time I do this, you maybe ask that striped hyena that lives around Oldonio just to come in while we open the show. That would be pretty cool. I mean, there's always room for improvement. Nothing against you guys, giraffes, nothing against it, but you know, a girl can dream, can't we? Seems like we're having cloudy weather all over Africa today because we've done sort of Botswana, Olifants, and then Kenya, and everywhere is overcast and not too sunny, which is great. As I was saying, we needed this. I mean, Kenya, maybe not so much. They're about to enter the rainy season soon, so. But as you can see, the grass is very dry. Everything around it is very dry. The pan is very dry. So we could use a little bit more rain in southern Africa, and well, East Africa is gearing up to get some of the rains pretty soon. So I think we're all in this together. We're all waiting for it. Bye, oxpeckers. Are you gonna have a drink now? Interesting how often, or maybe that's what was happening here with these two giraffes. I mean, if we had seen them from earlier, we would have been able to tell. But there's always a hierarchy, and it becomes quite apparent at watering holes. Generally, older individuals, bigger individuals tend to bully younger, smaller individuals, and it's almost like I drink first because I'm bigger and more important. You drink after me because you are not as big as are important. I think in the case of giraffes, they're not particularly aggressive creatures towards one another. They tend to settle everything in a more specific way than maybe some of the other animals. But if you see things, for example, like elephants, it is quite funny how when you have a much bigger bull arriving, especially if there's a spring or if there's a spot where you can see that the water is being pumped and the fresh water is coming out from, then they generally come and they have this slugger and then they just push the other elephants out of the way, and they're the ones that drink the first. That's a lot of flies. Oh, those are tsetse flies. I don't want to be there. They are not nice things. Mindy, Tilipo, you say, yay, giraffes, your faves. Well, I'm very happy that they are your faves. I think we should put it in a request for the Africam team. There's a species of giraffe that is my favorite because they are beautiful. Their pattern it's not like this one. This one almost seems like, I don't know, almost like little flowers, like, you know, it's all rugged and edged. But there's a species of giraffe that lives in northern Kenya, which is called the reticulated giraffe, and their patches are like much darker. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like a geometrical pattern that you've just, like a child colored inside, and they are beautiful. So maybe we should start a campaign so that we can see the reticulated giraffes. That would be quite nice. JJ, you're saying hello, and you're wondering if I have any exciting safaris that I'm going on. Well, I just returned from one, just a couple, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, and I did it here in South Africa. I went to the Timbawati, which was really nice. We got very lucky, and we saw currently the only white lion cub in the world, so wild roaming white lion cub. really what I wanted to say, which is part of the Birmingham Pride. There used to be two, but the one unfortunately died, and now there's only the little one left, which is still exciting because they're very rare creatures and we don't see them a lot. So I was very excited to see it, even if it was from a distance. And then, funny enough, I will be going back to the Timbavati not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And it's a camp that I've never been to, so I'm sure, I hear there's very good lion viewing, so we shall see about that. But if you guys really want to know, I'm very excited that I just signed up today for a trip to go to explore Lake Malawi. Now, that is a ginormous lake in Africa, and the water is crystal clear. There's nothing, there are no hippos, no crocodiles in there, so you can just be in the water the whole day. I feel like that place is magical, and it might not be a real place. So I shall have to tell you guys if it is real and if it's worth it a bit later on, because I'm only going to go at the end of May. But that is my trip that I'm most excited for this year. Of course, there are other things that are interesting, but I don't know that place, and it's been in the bucket list for quite a while. So I'm very excited about it. Oh my goodness. I think there's maybe about 20 odd oxpeckers on this giraffe. Either it's just gone past like a very patchy, thicky place, or maybe it's just not in great condition. That's why it's got so many giraffes. Oh, you know. Okay, Curse says that yes, maybe they'll try if we can find them a waterhole. I mean, I feel like I can point you in the direction of a camp. Would that help? I can tell you where you can find them. That would be pretty amazing. And they also got plenty of rhino there. So maybe we should chat after the show. Ozzy Jan 2, you said that you made it. Yay, welcome, and good afternoon to all. Kirsten Henry, could we see that lion on the King's Camp camera? I don't think currently you'd be able to see that white lion in the King's Camp camera because it's not in the traverse. It's still a little bit too far. The older male, so not Casper or the one that everybody knows as Casper that lives in Kruger. Sorry, I couldn't think of the park. But the sort of the younger male that's just now starting to disperse, he's been hanging out roughly around the King's Camp traverse. So I don't think he's gone as far as King's Camp yet. He's hanging more around another property called Motswari, but that is right next to King's Camp. So there is a possibility. You never know. Maybe one day he'll come around. So keep your eyes open. You never know. It's something to look forward to. Oh, Kauru, it is your birthday today. I don't know why I couldn't say that. So happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for spending it with us watching all the wildlife. Although now that our giraffe is going, perhaps we should go to Tao, because I think there's a warthog there. Hopefully it's still around. The giraffes have had their water and they're just carrying on. Oh my goodness, these flies. They are pretty crazy. No, the warthog left. Okay, bye. Bye, Warthog. We didn't want to see you anyway. Marisha, Nita, you're saying hello, and that is good to see me. Well, it's good to see you too, or hear from you, I should say. All of us people that love Africa, we tend to find each other in all the platforms, don't we? Oh, there's a jackal. Hello, little jackal. Are you also coming for a drink? No, come back. I don't know if you guys thought it was sort of the bottom left side of the screen. And I think that's what this bus full of... Oh, there we go. Hello, little jackal. Where are you going? Come back. Are you going for a drink? Don't blame you. Looks like a black-backed jackal. You see a very prominent black back. I mean, wouldn't really try to go for a giraffe. That would be way too optimistic for this jackal. But that's a pretty cool sighting. Let's see. Giraffes, they're very curious. Often they'll be like, oh, what's happening there? We want to go back. We want to go back. What are you doing? And then, whoop. Oh, come back. There you go. Very curious. So the giraffe wouldn't really do anything to the jackal. The jackal is not really a threat, but they are curious. I don't know if it's because they're too high up in the sky and their necks are too long, and then they need to approach things to see them from a shorter distance. But they're always, very often you'll find like when leopard sightings, giraffes will be looking at the leopard for hours and then just staring at them and looking at them. It's a very nervous little jackal. And it's hard. You never know what's going to be around when you put your head down and then you start drinking from a water hole. So all of the animals, even some of the predators, even if it's predators, you've got to be careful. You never know who is lurking behind you and who might be around waiting to catch you up. Oh, little jackal. Bring your baby soon. I don't think I've ever seen a jackal in this camera before either. Today seems like a day of first, which is nice. Seems like a youngster too. Look at you, pretty jackal. And up it goes, trotting away. That's a lot of legs. Yes, I mean, Chris is saying that it's not new for her to see jackals here because they are often around the camera, but this is the first time I've seen a jackal here. I mean, my memory's been really bad in the last year or so, and I did have COVID again in January, which was great. What a great experience. And my memory tends not to be great after I have COVID, so I need to forget certain things. Okay, are you going to look for some food in the dung? Sneaky scavenger. Minty Tilipo, you say, wow, what a size difference. Indeed, when the two of them were walking, I mean, first of all, it just goes to show the leg size difference, and then just what difference it makes between them, as in such a little creature and a very tall giraffe. If you think about it, for them, maybe it's the equivalent of for us when we're fully grown to see maybe like a toddler when it's just starting to walk. Maybe it would be something because you look down and you're just like, what is this little thing all the way down there? I'm just curious as to what you are. Okay, we've run out of jackal now. Nice to see you. I wonder if the giraffe is still there or if it's just been colonized by dogs now. Nope, legs are still there. A pretty funny view. Yeah, because you didn't really drink earlier on, did you? The other giraffe was there, then the jackal came along. Oh, the dove flew the wrong way. Must be very stressful to be a giraffe. It really is amazing the effort that they've got to make to just get down to water. Oh my goodness, you can hear it sucking up the water, I think. Good giraffe. Good giraffe. I'm surprised, honestly, genuinely surprised at how many oxpeckers this giraffe has got on it. So either there haven't been too many other creatures around where these oxpeckers can attach themselves to, or this giraffe maybe has a bit too many ticks. Could be, end of the dry season, not too many things, or maybe not as many palatable things to eat. Giraffe not in greatest condition. That's why it's got so many oxpeckers on it. Maybe an injury, maybe it's been sick, and then, that's sort of what happens sometimes. I know Chris is saying that there's an elephant at Tau, but I just think watching giraffes drinking is pretty cool. So let's just wait for the giraffe to finish drinking, and then we can swap sides and see how Madiko is doing today. I mean, honestly, like it just doesn't feel right, does it? It really does not feel right that they have to bend that way in order to drink. I mean, they don't have to drink every day. Thankfully, giraffes are pretty water efficient creatures, and if you were ever to see the giraffe dung, you would see just how great their stomachs are absorbing all of the nutrients and all of the water from everything that they eat. They actually make very small pellets, I would say, maybe the size of a quarter, roughly. And they only drink every couple of days and so on when they really need to, because they get all of the moisture from everything that they eat. So its horns are ossicons, not the horns, the ossicons are askew. You guys. Mindy Tilipo, do you think the number of oxpeckers is at all related to the animal's coat condition? I think not only the coat condition, but the general condition of the animal itself. So when animals have too many parasites, that is generally an indication that they are not in their best shape. And it can also be every now and again that they've walked through the wrong patch of trees or grass or something, where they've walked through a pepper ticks or through a tick's nest, and then they pick up a lot of them. But in general, and more often than not, you'll see more oxpeckers on creatures that are not doing too well. When they're not doing too well, they get more parasites, they don't have enough time to groom, or they don't allo-groom, they're not being as efficient as they should be, and then that's sometimes what makes them have a lot more oxpeckers than some others. Sometimes also, Doesn't seem to be the case for this one. They've got a wound. Oxpeckers are actually after not only the ticks but also the blood, so they tend to go and reopen all old wounds because they just want to get, you know, some of the fleshy bits, which is not ideal because then they stop having a good symbiotic relationship and they actually become harmful for the hosts that they're on because they don't allow for the wounds to heal properly. They just keep pecking at it and then make the healing process a little bit slower. So it could be. I mean, if this giraffe were to turn around in a way that we could see its hips maybe skinny, that would give it away. Or, you know, we'll just say that all of our puzzling or piecing of the puzzle would be onto something. But at this stage, I'm not sure. I do think, you know, that this giraffe is probably not in its best shape to have all these oxpeckers. But, I mean, that is a lot of oxpeckers in general for any average giraffe. It's more than what I've seen in the last little while. Whenever they kick their head up like that, I really want that photo. Okay, let's quickly head to Rosy's pan, where our lioness was earlier on, because it seems like some vultures have joined the party. And it's always interesting to look at the vultures and see who's around, because there are some really cool vultures. And oh, okay, it seems like we've got a couple of white-backed vultures, maybe hooded vultures. They were fast, you know? It is amazing. I mean, we don't know exactly where the kill is, but they've obviously been able to pick it up from the sky, from somewhere. Even if the lions had dragged it under a tree, the vultures are here. They know where that tree is. Judging by some of their crops, I mean, it's hard to tell, but you know, just like at the bottom of their nest, they've got this pouch where they can store food, and then some of them are not looking quite full, so you guys don't look like you've eaten a lot. So maybe they've just found the kill this morning or this afternoon, and then now they've just got to patiently wait for the bits and scraps that the lioness is going to allow them to eat. They'll wait, for example, for the lioness to go down and come for a drink, and then they'll go in and try to eat something, and then the lioness will come, and then she will chase them, and then they'll wait again, and, you know, so on and so forth. Seems like maybe the kill was there, because that looks like a lot of blood on the right-hand side. Maybe some stomach content. I don't know if the kill was there, but it definitely feels like there was something that was opened up there. I don't know if there is a strange tinge, but it almost seems like something happened there. There's a lot of bit of greasy parts, almost looks like the stomach contents. Casper's third goes. PR Vultures, a cleanup crew are ready. Yes, they are. You can always count them on being efficient even when the weather is not nice. I don't know if it's a funny pixelation on my computer, but it does seem like where those vultures are starting, maybe like there was a bit of stomach contents or stomach lining or maybe something like that. Whenever animals or big cats or predators make a kill, they tend to rip up, or, you know, the stomach just sort of gets dragged out of the animal's body, and then it just looks like a bunch of grass mixed with blood, basically. And it looks very much like where that particular wetback vulture is standing. It's amazing though, if you think about it. Vultures do get bad PR because, I mean, they don't generally look that cuddly, do they? And they eat dead, or they eat carcasses for a living. I mean, if it's a carcass, it's already dead. They eat carcasses for a living, and, you know, they just fight lions and leopards, and they do all these things, and then sometimes you see them and they put their heads in the most disgusting places, and they're really, oh, sometimes it's not pretty, let's put it that way. But they are such great creatures in maintaining their own hygiene. I mean, they're not even looking, all of them, they're not looking dirty. They only came down for a drink. I mean, maybe it's been quite a hot day, but every time after they've had their fill at a kill, or the carcass has been finished, you will always see a lot of them bathing and preening their wings and just making sure that they get all of those pieces of meat and organs and flesh and whatever it is that is left from the kill from their feathers, because of course their feathers are their biggest asset. So if their feathers are not maintained in pristine condition, then it can interfere with their flying capabilities. And if a vulture cannot fly really high up into the sky to find their next meal, well, then that's not ideal, is it? They wouldn't be able to do what they do best. Casper's 3D goes, you say you love all the vultures. I also think vultures are pretty cool. It would be nice if we could get like a lappet-faced vulture down here, or maybe even a white-headed one, because there are two other species of vultures that are not as common as the whitebacks or as the whereas the hooded vultures, but even maybe a tag vulture, that would be pretty cool. There's a lot of research that is being done in the area that includes, animals that have a bright yellow tag, and then obviously every bright yellow tag refers to a particular individual, and it's a way of finding out where they go, where they've come from, how far they travel. It's really interesting because it just goes to show that we think maybe animals are a little bit more localized, and then when we start seeing where they go, it's actually they go through these massive distances, sometimes like 250 kilometers away. So it's always good to know these things. And those hooded vultures, a lot of them look like juveniles actually, little ones. Kari, you're wondering if all birds have crops. I don't know if all birds have crops, but a lot of them, they really do have crops. I would imagine, because a lot of them have the gizzards. Actually, my bird biology is failing me today, but the vast majority of raptors do. I know a lot of pigeons or doves have got crops, and they're able to use it and feed it to their chicks. So I would imagine yes. Probably the right answer is yes, but I will have to write it down and find out the correct answer for you because I don't want to lie to you. I don't know why I don't know this. This is really upsetting, but I will have to find out. Bridget McKinney, the smaller vulture, is a new one. What is its name? So the smaller ones, so the ones that are on the tree, the ones on the left side of the tree, those are the white-backed vultures. Then it seems like the one on the right is an older hooded vulture because you see the face is white, and then the three on the ground are just juvenile or younger hooded vultures. They are, of the vultures that we get around in this area, they are the smaller ones. So the lappet face would be the biggest one. Then I think the Cape vulture is slightly bigger than the white-backed vulture, the white-faced vulture, and then the last ones would be our little hooded vultures over here. One luck it and the lioness came back and chased them. That would be pretty cool. Yep. Bit of a scuffle. Things are never nice in between vultures. I mean, everybody, or animals in general, everybody's always fighting for food. And for space. So things are not always as friendly as they should be. Okay, I think, Chris, let's just quickly go to the Oldonia giraffe, see what the giraffe is doing. I think these vultures are going to be here for the next little bit. And they seem just to be praying the weather. Oh, are you still drinking? With all your oxpeckers on top of you. This is a long time for a giraffe to be drinking. I wonder when it's the last time that it's drunk. I want to see its neck. I want to see if there's a particular reason why it's got so many oxpeckers, although it doesn't seem too bad. It doesn't seem like it's doing too bad. So, and the light has gotten very pretty now, don't you? Clearly, sort of the sunset time, that glowy, beautiful golden light, all of that golden grass. This is the time where photographers would be dreaming to be photographing giraffe by lifting and tilting their heads upwards when they finish drinking. You get that coveted shot, doesn't it? Exactly that one. I really think oxpeckers might just be my favorite birds. They're just so naughty. And then them and drongos, they are such cool little things. Always bothering something. And it was funny, we had a friend, funny enough, Kirst also knows them. Kirst is just on the other side of Africam. She's one of the people that is always there, but you might not see. He started getting on his camera traps photos of oxpeckers roosting in sort of like in between the legs of giraffe at night. And then there was a study that came out from Mara suggesting that sometimes they just don't go back to their trees because they generally roost in trees or in holes in trees. They live in family groups, and and then sometimes that's just where they sleep. They don't go back home, and then they and then they sleep in between the animal's legs. How is that? That's pretty funny. And you just find, and they look almost like little bats because they just sort of attach themselves and then they just stay there. You certainly have a bus of ticks on you. I mean, look at all those oxpeckers at work. mean, I can't say that it looks like a particularly skinny giraffe or that it's not doing super well. It seems to be okay. So, why of all the oxpeckers, that might just remain a mystery for all of us. Look at that big tongue. I'm gonna try and figure out what it wants to do. It's like it keeps changing, and earlier on it's just like, oh, I want to go, and then it was just like, no, I want to stay. You are one of the giraffes that I've seen drink for the most. Oh, that did not seem very, very agile, did it? It's just like, oh, my legs are too long, and I just can't get them across. Karu, you're saying thank you for answering your question. I believe it's do all birds have crop questions. It would be interesting to know if the little birds have a crop too. If I find out more, it would be interesting to hear what you find out. Absolutely. I will 100% go and look after this thing. And this is funny enough, one of my favorite things about this kind of shows. It's just that sometimes someone will ask something that you might not know, or something that perhaps maybe you just have never thought of. So it's just never entered your sphere of existence. Oh, that's a pretty shot of the giraffe. And then that's how we all learn together. I do know a lot of raptors do, and I know a lot of species like pigeons and doves do, but I don't know for the rest of them and the little ones. I suspect they might not. I mean, but I will have to find out. I don't want to give you the correct information. Incorrect information, sorry. I would like to give you the correct information, that's what I meant. This light is beautiful. My goodness. I feel like Kenya is winning today on golden light. It is really pretty up there. You know, South African weather is going to have to compete with that pretty light. And this giraffe looks pretty okay. Don't know why all the oxpeckers are on it, but it's looking it's looking good. It's not looking bad. Doesn't seem like there's anything obviously wrong with it. Maybe you're just the cool dude, the nice guy, and that's why all the oxpecker want to hang out with you. That's interesting. Harry, you're saying that you love fork-tailed drungos, that they are hilarious. Yes, I agree, and they are so naughty, and they're always, trying to trick someone, and they can imitate other bird calls, or they can imitate alarm calls just to try and get everyone off meat and things like that. They are just really, they're not really well-behaved things, are they? So you love listening to them, and oxpeckers are very interesting to watch too. I agree, I love them. Oh, okay, it's a party at the Waterhole now. We've got another giraffe and an impala. Oh, what happened? Why is everyone scared? Come on, lions! That would be... Oh. And there comes the little jackal running after scaring everyone. Okay, fair enough, little jackal, you won. The party is yours. That was very funny. As we were saying earlier, and as I'm sure you've all seen if you've been watching the show for a while, whenever there's water around, it's tricky. It's difficult. Animals are on high alert. They're all nervous because there could be things in the water and there could be things around the water waiting for anybody else to put their heads down so to come and attack them. So I think we're going to leave the giraffes now and we're going to go back to the Olifants River. Okay, now we've got all the giraffes in the world are in Kenya. Okay. I mean, let's be fair to other animal species. This is a pretty cool view too of an elephant crossing the river. You can never complain about this. It is not 1 million elephants like the giraffe, but at least it's nice. I love elephants in water. I think it's one of my favorite things to see. They just, I don't know what it is, especially when they're playing, they just seem to be having the time of their lives. I think in this circumstance though, it's just, he's not playing, he's all business, he's just crossing the river. Obviously the grass is greener on the other side, or the bushes are greener on the other side, and it's just like, nope, I'm over this. There is certainly something that is dragging him around. I don't know if you just saw, but the way that he was putting its trunk up and then sort of stretching it out, it's sniffing. It's something is catching his interest, and that is potentially what he's like looking for. You see, there he goes again, sniffing something around there. So it could be that there are also more elephants on the other side. It could be that maybe he's just after a herd that he's met at one stage, or maybe he's just looking for something else to eat. Maybe he is, I don't know, all the possibilities. But I like that line, the middle line, just showing how far he has to go in the water. Okay, Ellie, we should start making up jokes. Why did the elephant cross the river? Okay, either food or more elephants. That would be my guess. That would be the main reason why he's decided to cross the river and why he keeps putting its trunk up like that. Definitely very interested. You see, he's doing it again. I'm gonna vote more elephants. He's definitely interested in something there. Lara MC, you are saying that earlier this week you saw a mama lion carrying a cub in her mouth with 3 following behind. That's so cool on Cat Eye Pan. And you were wondering what the criteria might be for carrying which cubs to carry. Slowest, weakest, or maybe just simple taking turns. I think it depends on the situation. So sometimes you'll see like if the mother's, oh, hello, all of you giraffe. I think it depends. I think in most cases it's just sort of the mom just picks up whatever cubs is closer to her. Like I've seen them sometimes it's just like, it's just you, I'm going to pick you because you're here and you're closer. Sometimes though, depends on the situation, maybe a cub will be a little bit smaller, maybe a cub won't be behaving, or it might be a little bit naughtier than another one, and then they would be like, okay, you, I'm grabbing you because you need to come and then just be a good cub. And then that's how they would grab them. I don't think that it's not a matter of sort of dominance or seniority or anything like it. I think there's a lot of randomness attached to the decision making processes, and I'm going to carry this cub and not this one. I think sometimes it's just, just like parents do, they'll just grab a child for no reason. And they'll be like, you, follow in line. So yeah, I think it might just be circumstantial. But I don't think there's a particular reason as to why they choose one and not the others. There's a lot of giraffes. Okay. You guys are going to have to do some interesting leg stretching if you all want to fit and have a drink at the same time. It seems like there's a bunch of boys and just one female. One girl, maybe 2? Explain maybe why there's so many of them. Guys, if you all move to the other side, you might be able to all fit in there. Seems like maybe 2 females and 3 boys. Okay. Shame they're scaring each other. It's very tricky. I don't know how they would get it right with all the legs. They need a bit more spatial awareness. You feel they keep putting their heads down and up and up and down and up. I think they are looking at something. There's something there that catches their eye. It might just be the jackal that is in the background running around. It might be an impala somewhere else. But there was something there that is definitely considering. You see, it seems like even though there are a bunch of giraffes, so I mean 5 giraffes in total, the one in the middle, the big male in the middle, seems to have the most on it. So I wonder if this is our boy from before. I have a suspicion it might be. Mindy Tilipo, you're saying it's a giraffe drinking party. That it certainly seems to be. There's a lot of giraffes in a very little waterhole. Potentially the only waterhole around, and that's why they're all around here, and that's why they're all trying to drink from there. I just want to see them all drink at the same time. You guys can do this. We trust you can do this. You'll figure it out. Yeah, Mindy, I agree. I think it'll be interesting to see how the Uxbeckers will spread themselves on the other giraffes, but it just seems like they're still preferring the one. Although, now that there are more, maybe they'll change, maybe they'll go somewhere else. But this is definitely quite interesting. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of our show today, even though it's a very cool view, and you can continue watching it online just to find out if all of the giraffes managed to drink at the same time. Thank you everyone for joining us again in one of these shows, and it was lovely having you all, and then seeing all the beautiful animals we saw today. And even more giraffes are coming along.